How big is the Blox Fruits world? Most players never really think about this. You sail between islands, travel through the seas, and the map just feels huge. But how big is it actually? In this video, we're going to consider 3 different scenarios. We'll start with realistic Roblox scaling, then use a much more extreme cosmic scaling, and finally combine that with 2 of the biggest theories about the Blox Fruits world. Instead of revealing everything at the start, we're going to calculate each scenario step by step and see where the numbers take us. First, we need to estimate how large one sea is. Let's say a sea is roughly 50,000 studs across. Roblox uses a standard conversion of about 0.28 meters per stud. So 50,000 studs multiplied by 0.28 gives us 14,000 meters, or 14 kilometers. If we treat the sea as a square, 14 kilometers multiplied by 14 gives us 196 square kilometers. Since Blox Fruits has 3 seas, multiplying that by 3 gives us roughly 588 square kilometers, or about 227 square miles. That's roughly comparable to the size of Chicago. We can also estimate travel speed. If a boat crosses those 50,000 studs in around 10 minutes, that's 14 kilometers in 10 minutes, giving us a speed of about 84 kilometers per hour. So our first answer is roughly 588 square kilometers for the entire playable world. But now we can make the scaling much more extreme. The reason we're changing the scale so dramatically comes from some of the game's cosmic implications. For example, if certain attacks are treated as light speed, but light itself appears extremely slow compared to the distances suggested by other feats, then the normal Roblox scale starts looking inconsistent. There's also the black hole comparison. A real stellar black hole can have a radius of only around 9 kilometers, which would be unbelievably tiny compared to the distances we're getting from the Blox Fruits map. So if we want to make those cosmic feats fit together, we can test a much larger conversion. 1 stud equals 1 million kilometers. Now our 50,000 stud sea becomes 50 billion kilometers across. If we treat it as a square, that's 2.5 times 10 to the 21 square kilometers. And remember our boat. If it still crosses those 50,000 studs in 10 minutes, it would travel 50 billion kilometers in just 10 minutes. That's roughly 300 billion kilometers per hour, or about 278 times the speed of light. Obviously, this is no longer normal physics, but that's exactly why this scenario is so extreme. The scaling has been massively increased to account for the cosmic interpretations of the game's feats. But there's still one final scenario. What if the ocean surrounding the islands doesn't actually have a boundary? If it continues forever in every direction, then the total area of the world would be infinite. The islands can still have a finite size, but an infinite ocean means the total world has no finite area. And then we can take this theory even further. What if every Blox Fruits server is actually its own separate universe? With more than 80,000 servers, that wouldn't just give us one infinite world. It would give us 80,000 or more separate universes, creating what could effectively be considered a multiverse. So now we have our 3 answers. Realistic scaling gives us roughly 588 square kilometers. Cosmic scaling gives us a sea around 50 billion kilometers across. And if the infinite ocean and server universe theories are both true, Blox Fruits could contain an effectively infinite world spread across more than 80,000 separate universes. And what's crazy is that all of this came from one simple question: how big is Blox Fruits?